Hi, Trevor here, reflecting on life through music. Thank you for stopping by. Well, come in today, you're very, very welcome. I trust you enjoyed my last video on John Paul Young and through the massive hit in Australia, Love is in the Air. In fact, around the world, we looked at that very thing. So trust you found that one encouraging. We're going from there to 1950 in Lincoln, Illinois. But early in this guy's life, they moved to Logan City. And it was apparent very, very early that this guy had a love for music. And he had a pretty amazing singing voice. In fact, he was in a band, Vinegar Hills, in his hometown. And it was actually interesting in high school that he met his wife and they would eventually become married. Now, the guy we're talking about, John Schlitt. Now, we'll get on to the importance of this guy. He was going to become a civil engineer, but he thought, no, that's not really going to work. I really love music. And so in 1972, he did become the lead singer of the band Head East. Now, Head East were pretty big. Lots of hits in the 1970s. And John Schlitt was part of 5 studio albums and 1 live album. And I've got a bit of a compilation clip of Never Been Any Reason. It's a bit of a compilation clip. You can see how absolutely massive Head East actually were. And being the lead singer of a band such as these guys was pretty big. But no, John had a very, I suppose, not a good relationship with alcohol and cocaine. It was around 1980. The band had enough. And they said, hey, come on, John, I think you're going to need to move on to other things. It was very nice to see back in 2011 where they got inducted into the Illinois Music Hall of Fame. That was a bit of a reunion, which is pretty good. So it was around that 1980 period. Things weren't good at all. John talks about the fact he was close to suicide at that point. His wife, interestingly, became a born-again Christian at that point, and she urged him to see her pastor. Now, he reluctantly said, what? Church? Me? Nah, not going to do that. Well, he eventually did agree to see the pastor. From that point on, his life changed because he himself became a Christian at that point as well. And John thought, well, what am I going to do? Well, I do love engineering, so I'm going to actually just leave music, be devoted to my family, and become a mining engineer. And he did that for a little bit of time. But I suppose music had not finished with John Schlitt at all. And it was in 1985, the iconic Bob Hartman from the band Petra. Now, Petra, let's not understate. Now, we've already covered a couple of people recently, Greg Faults, John Larry, who have had significant stellar careers in their own right. But Bob Hartman founded the band Petra. Now, Petra are the pioneers of Christian rock. Now, when I'm talking rock, I'm talking rock. Now, these guys really did know how to rock big time. Bob Hartman was one of the founding members, and he reached out to John Schlitt after Greg Faults left the band after the Beat the System tour. Greg had kind of had enough. He needed to spend more time with his family because Petra were constantly touring. And so Bob said, hey, John, I remember you and Bob in Head East. Do you want to come and be the lead singer for Petra? And John said, what? Oh, come on, you can't be serious, look at my past, look at my history. It hasn't been the best. I really wanted to devote time to my family as well. But Bob insisted. And then, so John said, yeah, okay, let's do a few gigs and see how it goes. It became very clear, very early on that John Schlitt and Petra were meant to be together. In fact, the first album, 1986, Back to the Street, and between 1986 and 2005, John would record 14 albums with Petra, so he was there from 1986 pretty well to the end. Petra, again, very significant in the scheme of things, very significant in the scheme of things. They've won a number of Grammy Awards and Dove Awards as well. So I thought we better get some songs from the Petra era in there. We've got the official clip of Who's on the Lord's Side. This is from the album Unseen Power. how good is this song? I wanted to typify, first of all, how good Petra is as a band, and secondly, how good John Schlitt's vocals are with this powerhouse of musicians behind him. Who's on the Lord's Side is a bit of a remake of I suppose, a spiritual song of earlier, and they've really beefed this one up big time. When I think of Petra, this is one of the songs I think of. Who's on the Lord's Side? Absolutely stunning. And John Schlitt sings this song so well. Just incredible production in this song, absolutely. We've also got You're in the Right Place. This is live from the Farewell concert in 2005. A pretty amazing guitar riffs going on here. Make no mistake, Petra are very good musically as well. And so this is just an absolutely iconic guitar riff by Bob Hartman. Just how good is this band? And we've got John Schlitt at the front at the live version of You're in the Right Place. I thought I'd better get something a little bit quieter in there. We've got the official clip of Love is Patient, Love is Kind. As I've said a few times before, before the words I love you are said, get patience and kindness in there, because you know what? It just gets things off on a really good fit. So we've got an official clip of Love. Well, John also, he wanted to be a little bit creative, and so he said to Petra, hey, look, can I have a bit of some solo albums too? And Petra said, why not? What a great idea that one is. And out in 1995 came the album Shake. This is a solo album for John. One of the songs I love of this album is The Hard Way, absolutely stunning. No clip of that one. We got the official clip of Show Me the Way. Official clip of that one. A guy just tramping through a desert and doing what he does. This song's all about guidance. It's all about being led, following at times things when we want our lives to go in a certain way, we want our life to do a certain thing. It could be that we're in a bit of a hole. We don't actually know where life is headed, and we're thinking, man, I just don't know where to go. Well, John Schlitt would believe, and so would I, that God does lead us, and He does absolutely guide us. And I think it's good to know that the Creator of the universe is so intimately involved with every one of us and our journeys. That when we do pray, show me the way, He will absolutely do that. And trust me, He does. And so it's great to know that life. First of all, we're not on our own ever. No, we are not. If we choose to actually ask God to be part of our lives, He does become part of our lives, absolutely. Now, we don't promise that life's going to be wonderful and fantastic. No, we are human beings after all. But there is a sense of resilience that comes with that particular decision. And so, Show Me the Way is a pretty amazing clip. Song for John off the album Shake. And I think, even though Petra were well and truly still going, he'd been with Petra for 10 years at this point. And, like most things, when you're in one of the biggest Christian band in the world, in one of their most productive eras as well, you start to think night after night, concert after concert, gig after gig, album out of album, where it's all headed. And, we can kind of think, well, we just hope that life's going in the right direction. But sometimes we're not sure. So I think Show Me the Way is a pretty good song, pretty honest song for John Schlitt to sing at this point. Out in 1996, out came the album Unfit for Swine. Great album title, that one. And we've got the live version of There Is Someone Who Loves You Just the Way You Are. Pretty nice to know that God, again, John Schlitt, and my God, now there is someone who loves you absolutely just the way you are. So we've got a live version of that one. John's released solo albums 2008, 2012, 2013 and 2020. We've also already talked about Petra's Farewell in 2005, but bands like these ones don't really ever finish, and there's been a few incantations and reformations ever since. I think it's a classic case that Petra are just too important in the world of music to kind of call it quits. And it's good to see, some of the guys such as John Larry coming back to fill out that Petra sound. But as you can see, You're in the Right Place, the song I played you earlier, where it's just four of them. You know what? It's just so tight. It really is tight. Well, make no mistake, Petra are very good musically. So There Is Someone who loves you just the way you are. So John certainly has been involved in a few solo releases and also Petra here and there. But it was in 2016, much to the surprise of the Christian music world, John Schlitt of Petra got together with Billy Smiley of White Heart. Now, White Heart are big as well. And to get these two people together in one band with a few other guys is pretty cool. Union of the Sinners and Saints, great name for an album. We've got a few clips from them. We've got the official clip of Rise Up, pretty good. We've also got the official clip of Independence Day. Now, Independence Day is sort of one of White Heart's signature tunes. Of course, Rick Florian, who lead singer, did such a good job with this one. But I thought I'd put that one in there because you know what? It's just great to see a different take on this absolutely iconic song. Got the official clip of that one. We've also got a bit of an officially / livey kind of concerty clip of I Still Believe, which is a classic song from The Call. There for you below as well. So John Schlitt very much has taken up the lead vocals in Union of Sinners and Saints. He also gets together with Jay Sudoku from time to time and does some stuff with him as well. I'd also, by the way, I thought I'd just put in a bit of a story of John Schlitt. It's just about 5 minutes long, talking about his head each days and how he basically found salvation and had his life transformed. So I thought I'd just put that one in there for you as well. So the links to those, how many we've got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 clips are in the description below. And I've also included my last video from John Paul Young. If you want to recap on him, feel free. Well, if this is your first time to Life Reflections Through Music, or you've come back for another one, how great to see you all here. Well, that's it for today. Next time we're going to get on to John Schumann, of course, Australian songwriting royalty. So until then, I'll catch you around. Bye for now.